Back here on the Bobcast, a special edition National Signing Day. Fielder Dennis alongside head football coach Delane Fitzgerald. Coach, we'll jump right into it. You signed 33 players yesterday. What were your overall thoughts on this year's recruiting class?
Extremely excited about the young men that we're bringing into our football family and bringing onto this campus. We address needs that we had from a positional standpoint, and then we were able to add some players that are going to be difference makers here for the next few years.
Coach, knowing that you're moving up to the Division Two, was there a certain amount of pressure that you felt with bringing new guys in?
Pressure, no. Was there a sense of urgency with our staff that we were going to do this thing and do it the right way and build it the right way? Yes. Not pressure, no. Yeah, urgency, yes.
Geographically speaking, you get about a majority of the players coming from the Maryland area, a few coming from Virginia, and a couple coming from West Virginia. What about these states attract you as a recruiter for football?
Yeah, with the DMV, okay, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area is playing as good a football as there is per capita in the United States, and I would say this fielder, maybe outside of Eastern Virginia, okay, that 757 area, Virginia, the DMV plays the best football in the United States in a place that doesn't have spring ball. In an area that's not playing spring ball, so our kids, in the DMV aren't playing for 3 or 4 weeks in the spring, like some of the other states, Georgia and Florida and Texas and et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of states doing it. But per capita, as good a football there is as there is in this country.
There are three players from Woodgrove, Virginia, part of that DMV. Do you have a familiarity with that program given your Virginia roots?
Uh, their head coach has a familiarity with Frostburg State. They played for Mike Skinner down there, and Mike Skinner played at Frostburg in the 60s and Frostburg grad and has always been really good to us. We've never been able to successfully get a good player out of there, and then, we caught lightning in a bottle this year getting those three kids. And what a wonderful run that those young men went on. And I get to saying names and I'll get their names wrong, but it's Jordan, Mike, and Graham. That they were probably the underdogs in the semifinals in 4A in Virginia and were able to upset a great Blacksburg, Virginia team at their place after a long bus ride. Came home, practiced for 3 or 4 days, and then took another long bus ride and upset Lake Taylor to win the 4A state title. But their head coach is a Frostburg guy, and it gave us a little bit of an in with those young men, and extremely excited to have all three of them.
Maybe a little bit cliche, Coach, but you're talking about those specific players' resumes. Do you look at the amount of success programs when recruiting players from specific places?
Yeah, Skinner Fielder, excuse me. I go back and forth with this all the time. Do you just recruit kids from big schools because the bigger schools play a little better competition, or do you just recruit kids from winning programs because winning breeds winning and it becomes a habit and those kids do a little better. And here's what I've come to find out. You watch the kids on film and you get their transcripts, and if you like their film and you like their transcripts, throw where they're from and the size of the school and all that out the window, that they have a chance at success. I give you my own story. I'm from a high school of 500 people in Nelson County, Virginia. My last game ever in high school, we had 19 players. And out of 19 players, I was probably the fourth or fifth best player on our team, fourth or fifth best athlete. But I ended up, I was able to make the team at James Madison and play there for 3 seasons and do some things there. So you just have to throw the size of the school and winning and all that kind of out the window and take the kid for the kid. Evaluate the young man's character and evaluate him as a football player and then evaluate him academically and then go from there with your recruitment.
One of the names that jumped out was Will Brunson, a graduate transfer from University of Albany, playing quarterback. What about his situation interests you, and what does he bring to the table?
Will had graduated from Albany and wanted to play one more season, and we were able to get Will on the phone and talk with him. And Will's been a great young man to be around for the last month. But he's here enrolled. He's a spring enrollee, so he's going to get to do spring ball with us, and he's in the weight room with the guys and all that. This is what struck me about Will is how much he likes athletics and how much he likes football and how much he wanted to play one more year. And then the fact that he had started 14 games at Albany, he had beaten beaten a top 20 team twice as a starting quarterback at the FCS level. Those are all pluses. And then we got to see his film and transcript, and his film and transcript are really, really good. We wanted him with us for a year.
how valuable is that experience, especially with this transition year for your program?
Yeah, Will's gonna. How do you say this? He's gonna help us mask some deficiencies we have in certain areas, and he's gonna help us win a few football games. And in turn, I would like to think we're going to win each and every Saturday, and that's going to be the goal, and it's going to be the way we line up and handle things. Will's going to help us bridge that and get to that. But this is two things. Will's going to be an asset to this university on and off the field because of the way he handles himself and handles his business. And then we're going to allow Will an opportunity to leave college football with a great taste in his mouth and great memories of his senior year.
Another name that jumped out, running back Brady Watson, a transfer from West Virginia. How can his experience, I'll ask you the same question, how does his experience help in this transition to Division II?
Yeah, but Brady's the local product, and he grew up in that Ridgely Short Gap area of West Virginia, just right across the line here. But Brady is the all-time leading rusher at Frankfort High School. His high school highlight film was pretty impressive, and I've now been here long enough that I watched him play high school football in person. Thought he was a great little running back. Hey, good linebacker, good kick returner. Did a lot of nice things at Frankfort High School. But Brady chose to go play at West Virginia for the last 4 years, and he's had a great experience there, and we're happy for that. He graduates in May and has 1 year of eligibility, and we are happy to have him with us next fall and happy to have him carrying the football for us.
Coach, 33 players, we said at the beginning, recruited, a lot of those players being offensive line and defensive linemen. Was that a point of emphasis going into this recruiting class, trying to kind of get some size going forward?
Fielder, there is a size and strength and a speed difference in Division III and Division II. From non-scholarship kids to scholarships, there's a size, strength, speed difference. We needed to address that stuff, and as a coaching staff, we looked around the room and said, well, we run pretty well. We run as well as a lot of Division II teams do in the country. So let's go ahead and bridge the size and the strength thing. And Fielder, we got long and strong yesterday now. We brought in 2 handfuls of young men on the offensive line that are going to be great players. 1 or 2 of them are going to be able to play tight end for us as a freshman and sophomore, so they'll help us as a blocking tight end. But we brought in some offensive linemen and really happy about that. We brought in a couple centers that are good football players. And then here was the neat thing we did as a staff. We didn't sign a high school guard. So the players we looked at on film were playing tackle. Now they're going to get bumped down to guard at the college level. But without me rambling here all day, we got long and strong yesterday up front on the offensive line, and then turned around and did the same thing on the defensive line. We signed 4 or 5 young men to play D tackle that are going to be good D tackles, and then we signed 2 or 3 young men to play D end that are going to be good D ends, and they're all long. So we got a lot taller yesterday, and we're happy about that.
For the returning players, what are the expectations for them with this new class coming in?
The expectations of them are just to carry on the same way we've carried on for the last 5 seasons here. We had a team meeting last week, had a quick team meeting on Monday, and the expectation is the same, is that you're getting 1% and 2% better each day. That when the alarm clock goes off, our current players get after it academically. Okay, make sure they're staying true to their faith, and then they're getting after it in the weight room. So they're getting after it athletically too. Get after it academically, stay true to your faith, get after it athletically, and they're going to be just fine. We have really good football players in this program. I would have been comfortable the last 3 years playing in the Mountain East with the kids that we had. I'm going to be comfortable playing in the Mountain East next year with the kids that we currently have. That they know what's expected of them.
Coach Delaney Fitzgerald, always a pleasure to talk with you, and looking forward to the summer.
Fielder, thank you for having me. Go Bobcats.